his wife, they getting their mail-in absentee ballots. You know, and he down here all the time. He down in Mar-a-Lago and Palm Beach all the time. Why not just go early vote? But he's like, oh man, I'm the president, or I'm out of town, or I'm doing work, or I'm doing whatever. And folks is like, yo, it's a pandemic out there. I don't want to go out there.
Right.
And which brings me to one of the speakers last night was the family of the 65.
The young lady?
Yeah. Family of the 65-year-old, otherwise healthy young man who
Father.
the whole family is blaming Trump because it was like, man, he was listening to the president talking about don't wear no mask. You know, I'm not wearing a mask. So dad wasn't wearing no mask and dad caught the Rona. Dad died and these folks mad as hell. They coming out saying, bruh, where's your leadership? Where's your leadership in you know, coming out and saying, listen, folks got to do better with this.
I would say it like this. When it comes down to following the leader and leadership, you're your own leader at the end of the day. Personal leader. You lead your own body to wake up when God gives you the ability to, and you make your day what it is supposed to be, right? So with that being said, you will be a fool to sit there and learn common sense from somebody that's not using their own. You understand what I'm saying? And why would you, and just like when these people went out there and killed themselves, taking Lysol and injecting it in themselves and all that dumb stupidness, my whole feeling about that is, how brain dead do you have to be to sit there and to throw common sense to the side for the sake of listening to a fanatic? You know what I'm saying? Somebody that you feel that should be right or that could be right is sitting there leading you the wrong way. And because you want to sit there and be such a follower that you are going to jump off the cliff because you feel like this person that you believe in is telling the truth. And the thing is, that makes it seem cultish to me because that's how a lot of them people died with that guy out there.
That's exactly what Trumpism is. And that's another thing which you giving some great segues, bro. We should be playing ball right now, bro, because you keep sending them alley-oops.
Hey, man.
Booming.
You feel me? That's what we do.
One of these, awesome segue is last night you had Meg Whitman. You had former New York Republican Congresswoman. You had former Republican Governor of Ohio, John Kasich, all coming in speaking, saying, we lifelong Republicans, but we're going to put our party second because what this man who's in office is doing and what he's about is not Republican principles. That's not what he's on. Like what he's on right now, he's just on power. He's on power. I'm a Republican, bruh. And what we do when it comes to fiscal responsibility, this guy don't care nothing about fiscal responsibility. He's out there just promising people stuff just to get reelected.
Exactly.
He out there talking about, hey, if I get reelected, you know those SBA loans that people getting $100, $200, $300 million loans. If I get reelected, I'm going to forgive the loans. So folks like, hey.
He's waving a dollar in front of
Yeah, that's what he's doing, and he's like, man, he's on some heartless, straight up heartless stuff, man. He's like, I'm going to do.
If you felt that way, he should open the loan back up. Then they closed it on the 8th.
Yeah, no, well.
So if you're really talking that sauce,
they
Raw, so let me go get some of that.
They negotiate. they negotiating right now. They negotiating right now, and it's still funds that's being held by the SBA. When they did the second round, and it was so much, so many black people didn't get it that it was like we specifically setting it aside for a lot of targeted black businesses and financial institutions like One United Bank. Some of the
what are the
black-owned
different
banks?
The different programs out there that's available to small black businesses to get funding?
In Dade County, you have the Miami Chamber of Commerce headed by my brother Eric Knowles, and they got a $25,000 grant for small businesses.
How do you apply?
Just go on their website. They got all the information. Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. And Gordon Eric Knowles is the chairman of the chamber, and they had the applications there. And Miami-Dade County, they also have some programs for rent and mortgage forgiveness, and some bridge loans for folks who businesses are in trouble, during the pandemic. And then of course the SBA has these disaster relief loans where, that's the new scam right now, man. You got Zoes out there running around. When the Zoes got the paper tags on the Infinities, you know what time it is.
Listen, let me speak some truth on this right here. And I'm Jamaican, so I ain't no Zoe. Shout out to my Zoes though, but not even speaking on Zoes. But there's some people that are taking advantage of their own kind when it came to this SBA loan stuff. You feel me? And I feel like, if you're gonna help somebody, help them. This is. I gave my dog a straight analogy, right? There are people out there literally eating off other people's birthday cake, right? I'm gonna tell you straight up like this: the SBA loan, think of it as your own birthday cake on your birthday. You feel me? What do you look like? Somebody that has a cake dedicated for you with your name on it. Sit there, somebody else and say, "Here, cuz, here's your little square of your cake. I'm gonna take the rest, but you can have this little piece, but it has your name on it." Ain't that some shit? So what I'm trying to show you is study to show yourself approved, man. Mm-hmm. Search knowledge and you will find. Don't let somebody out there jug you out something that's made for you because you don't want to learn and study and find out how to do it for yourself. And there's a lot of people out there jugging people. I know one person, let's say he got the person 10 grand. He gave that man 2 grand of his own money and the man took the rest.
Oh, wow.
That's the type of jugging going on out here. And people are letting it slide. And what y'all don't realize, y'all sitting there, this is a loan. You got to pay it back.
Yeah, you got to pay it back.
This is not no free money. So you're going to sit there and let somebody take 8 grand of your money that you got to pay back and you don't benefit from it at all just with 2 grand?
Yeah, because they basically like they going to get up and go. They not going to be around when it's time to pay it back. So they like, I wasn't going to get nothing, so I appreciate that. So I'm out. And they letting the accountants or whoever go and get the money and dispense the money to them, and they gone. They get the money and they gone. Which is going to, there's going to be so much waste, fraud, and abuse when this is all said and done, especially when it's being done during an election cycle, because people just going to let it go.
Yeah. So, that's why I feel like maybe Trump knows that that's a factor.
Absolute, bro.
And he knows that there's people jugging. He know. Listen,
he definitely.
It's like holding up steak in front of a dog.
Bro,
I know you gonna.
These are pennies. these are pennies.
These are crumbs.
These are crumbs, bro. These are crumbs compared to
what they have.
Like Pollo Tropical, they got 10 million.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these are crumbs.
These are crumbs.
The folks, man. So you giving the folks down at the bottom, you giving them a little bit, whatever, and that's. Don't even know that a little bit. These folks so loyal over a couple dollars. These folks up here getting millions. We saw the one guy that got arrested or got a citation for not wearing his mask out there on the beach, and it turned out this was the same dude that had gotten like $2 million, from these loans out there doing that. These folks out there straight up pimping. Yeah. Straight up pimping off taxpayer money, and there's no oversight because right now Trump is so desperate that he's just like, give them what they want, give them what they want, give them what they want.
Sounds like open season.
He don't want to lose.
Sounds like open season.
He don't want to lose. So right now, everybody's they trying him. Everybody's trying him. And he's like, come on. I just want to win, bro. When
do you
get
not
to
feel
a point where
Biden's
you just
doing that?
Win,
do you feel Biden's doing that while picking his running mate?
Because the reason why, and he did not want to choose, he did not want to choose.
I felt like it was a chess move on that.
Kamala Harris, he did not want to choose her. However, the constituency, the folks who have been keeping the Democratic Party afloat are black women.
Right.
Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. And they was just like, look, we tired of doing all this work. We tired of being the ones out here. Go to a food drive. Go to a toy drive. Go to any kind of situation that's going on. Go to a church. Go anywhere and see what you have. You have the ratio of almost 10 to 1 women to men. Women are doing the heavy lifting. Black women are doing the heavy lifting, and they've been taking a back seat to the men. And let the pastors, the preachers come out there and, direct them. Y'all go this way, y'all go that way, or whatever. And the women out there doing the heavy lifting. And now these women are coming out there saying, you know what? No more. We want some shine now. We want some shine. So folks basically pressured Biden because you got AOC, and Bernie Sanders, and you have Omar. You have these real progressive folks that's pushing and trying to pull everybody to the left. And Biden's been doing this for 47 years. You know how it's like, come on, it's like KC from KC and the Sunshine Band decide to come out there and put out a gangster rap album. Folks gonna be like, huh? KC the Sunshine Band got a gangster rap? Like it's not believable.
Right.
So Joe Biden coming out there saying he's not a progressive. Joe Biden is not a progressive. He is a moderate, middle of the road Democrat. But the party is pulling him to the left.
To me, he's a loose Republican.
You can call him that.
He's the same thing. Call him just a little more lenient.
Absolutely. And one of the criticisms that folks talk about Joe Biden is how we hold Bill Clinton to account for that crime bill. Well, guess who was in the Senate pushing the crime bill? Biden.
Exactly.
When you talk about Clarence Thomas, and when Clarence Thomas had his confirmation hearings, guess who was the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee? Biden. The one that gave Anita Hill such a hard time. And wouldn't let her come in there and say these are all the harassing things that this man was doing, putting pubic hair on my Coke can, leaving, talking about Long Dong Silver, talking about he liked porn, and he liked porns with guys with big members. This was the guy that's sitting on the Supreme Court. No, Clarence Thomas, when he went through his confirmation hearings, and they had to go through the Senate, and they had not only Anita Hill, but they had other accusers against Clarence Thomas that was out there saying, like, here's the sexual harassing things that he did when he was over the EEOC. When Clarence Thomas over the EEOC, and Anita Hill, who's a law professor. So this not no hoochie mama. Like, this is a law professor. And she's coming out and she's like, yo, this is what this man was on. This is what he was doing. Like, he was like constantly trying to date me. And he was, talking about his propensity for porn. Like, that's what he was on.
Fire.
And I come out, I come out from a break or whatever, and I'm like, yo, this is a pubic hair on my Coke can.
What?
That's
dude,
crazy.
Like, left some stuff like that. So Joe Biden was the one that basically, pushed not only Anita Hill into obscurity and to silence, but the other accusers. He did not give him the opportunity to come out there and get him a hearing, to come out there and talk about what this dude was on. Joe Biden was also, when he ran for president way back in '88, he had to drop out. He had to drop out because he was out there doing quotations, claiming that there was his that belonged to other people. He never gave them, credit for what was going on. He was a straight up plagiarist. He was a plagiarist. So the thing that you can say about Joe Biden, like, Joe Biden is not LeBron James. He is not Michael Jordan.
No.
He is not a first round
draft
pick. He is not a first round draft pick, but he is a Kurt Rambis with the Lakers. The Lakers needed a Kurt Rambis. They needed a Kurt Rambis because Kurt Rambis is smart. Joe Biden is smart. He lost a step. He's lost a lot of steps. But the thing about Joe Biden is that he is empathetic because the man has suffered so much tragedy on his own, and he's made so many mistakes that he's now humble. He's humble, and we need that right now. We need that. We lost 171,000 people just in the United States of America. We losing 1,500 people a day.
Yeah.
Losing 1,500 people a day, bro. That's like 5 plane crashes a day. Every day. Every day.
Now been past the Empire, what is it, Twin Towers?
Yeah, that was 3,000 people at the.
That been past the Twin Towers.
That was 3,000 people.
And that was what recorded the most people that died in the American tragedy.
At one time, 3,000. One time. What was you saying, Newkirk?
My question was going to be: do you think Joe Biden's going to be there after 4 years? Or do you think that Kamala is going to go ahead and try to take over the reins?
She's not going to do anything. Like, in my opinion, she's not going to do anything to straight up, undermine what he's doing.
Oh no!
She's gonna be a straight up wingman. Like, she's gonna be a great wingman. But I think on his own, he's 77, bro. He's 77. Like, I remember when I was a kid when Ronald Reagan won, and folks was like, "Oh my God, he's the oldest guy." But looking at Ronald Reagan now, he's like a teenager compared to Biden and Trump at this particular age. But I think what Biden is going to do, because, bro, when you've lost, I lost a sibling. So my parents, the one and only time I ever saw my father cry in my entire life was, right before we was in the back about to come out into the congregation at my sister's funeral.
Oh, wow.
And we was gathered in the back with some other ministers, and right before we was walking out there, to take our positions in the church or whatever. My dad just a moment where I had never seen that on his part before. This man, Joe Biden, at 30 years old, lost his wife in a car crash, his young daughter in a car crash, in that same car crash,
same car crash?
And yes, and his 2 little sons was all in the car crash. They survived.
Bo was one of the ones that survived.
Bo and Hunter Biden, both were in that car, but they survived. But their sister died and the mother died.
Damn.
So in 1977, 5 years later, this was 1972 when that occurred. In 1977, that's when he linked up with Dr. Jill Biden, his new wife now. And then a year ago, he had to go bury another son.
Yeah.
He had to go bury Bo.
That's terrible.
You know what I'm saying? And Bo was, his shining star. Bo was in the military, and he was end up being the Attorney General for Delaware.
Even Kamala said she was great friends with him.
Yeah, and that's what, caused him to choose Kamala, because, she and Bo were good friends because when Kamala Harris was the Attorney General for California, Bo Biden was Attorney General for Delaware, and they were good friends, and he always spoke highly and fondly of her. So if you don't do anything, you have to respect this man's loss. And at the age, think about it, this man is 77 years old.
Yeah.
What's left for him to do? What is left for him to prove? You don't, when you lose a child, when no parent wants to bury their child. Every parent wants their child to bury them. No parent want their child to no parent want to bury a child. This man's buried 2 children. This man's 77 years old right now. When folks wanted him to run back in 2016,
after Obama, he couldn't
because he was still in mourning. He was still in mourning. He just lost his son. And now we see what happened with the other son, Hunter.
Right.
We see what Hunter on.
Right.
And I ain't going to say he was like, damn, why couldn't it be Hunter?
Right.
Now why Bo?
Bo?
Why you took Bo And Hunter crazy ass running around
He's
here.
still running around here and doing all crazy type of
He's
stuff.
still in the strip club. He in there doing blow. He in there doing all this stuff. He getting caught in rental cars with fake credit cards. This man getting $50,000 a month from this company in Ukraine. And this company in Ukraine giving you $50,000 a month while I'm vice president, and I'm overseeing what's going on
internationally.
In Ukraine.
In Ukraine.
I'm overseeing what's going on in
for
Ukraine.
That company, was it for that company he worked for?
No, Burisma.
Burisma.
So what Biden had was the money that Ukraine was getting. So he held up $1 billion because the prosecutor who was investigating Burisma, the company that ended up hiring Hunter Biden, was paying him $50,000, and the man had no knowledge in oil and gas. So
but that just
Teddy
happens in
T
life.
always says that was money really intended for Joe Biden.
Right.
But you know how we do. We go put stuff in our
kids'
names and stuff like that, and just get the money to him, don't worry about it. Whatever. But that's what the debates are gonna be about. That's what that campaign ads are gonna be about. Saying that why are they paying this guy $50,000 a month when dad is overseeing what's going on here, and dad got the prosecutor that was investigating the company fired, saying that you not giving $1 billion, and they acquiesced to it. But
I heard
when they questioned, let me finish this.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
When they questioned Joe Biden on it, saying, yo, why y'all, what's up with your son? What do you have to say about that or whatever? Guess what Joe Biden said? Where's the proof that he did anything wrong?
That's what Joe Biden said?
That's it. He didn't come out there
and say no.
He didn't come out there and say
he knows the law, man.
He didn't come out there and say I spoke to my son. My son didn't, he told me it was legit, that these are the things they was doing, whatever. He was basically like, don't even talk to me about that.
Wow.
I don't have anything to say. He just like, I ain't gonna talk about it. He's like, I'm not gonna talk about it. Now,
it's probably better that he did do it that way, because I'm not giving him props or anything. If he was incorrect, doing something wrong, then that's what he was doing. But if he would have gave him something, if he would have said no, or if he would have gave him a little bit, they would have took it and ran with it. Like I was about to say to you, I saw a new campaign, Trump campaign ad, and it was like in Biden's own words. And they play "You're not black" by if you vote for Trump, you're not black. Then it was something else with when he said
with the Hispanics, bro. That was the dumb
Hispanic
stuff
one.
About the Hispanics.
The Hispanic one was
black
one.
people, they think alike, but you Latinos, you
more
guys
diverse.
You guys are way more diverse.
We're more diverse than black
people.
You know what I'm saying? So,
like I said, he is not Jordan.
He's not
he is
Jordan.
Not LeBron.
He's not LeBron.
He is not that guy. He is Kurt Rambis.
Yeah.
He is a guy that is going to right the ship. He's going to right the ship. He's not going to do anything great. He's not going to, but we don't need anything great. All we need right now is we need to go back to the status quo right now.
Right.
We need to go back to the pre-pandemic era.
Right.
Like
we need to improve on that, because before the pandemic era, everyone wasn't doing just great. We still had a whole bunch of BS in the country. We still had a whole bunch of racists. We still had a whole bunch of divide. So we don't want to go back to that, but we want to go back where we were a little more comfortable like that. And then we want the stuff to change. You know what I'm saying? We need it to change. So if it doesn't change, you know what I'm saying, we gonna be right back where we at right now. We gotta put in those efforts for change.
I feel you. And I'm being a bit of an alarmist. I'm being a bit of an alarmist, just saying. But the thing is, bro, I really do not trust Joe Biden to do anything. I really just want him to come in there and stop the car.
Just stop what's going on. I'm with you.
I just want him to stop this car. Stop this car that we're on right now. Stop it.
It's about to go over the bridge.
Just stop it and pull it back. In your 4 years, pull it back. Groom Kamala Harris on what it is, and then just be like, yo, I'm gonna be a one-term guy. Like, we don't need. He's not the savior. He's the right now guy. He's the John the Baptist to Jesus. Yeah. You know, John the Baptist came first
who's Jesus?
To get folks. Not Kamala.
Not Kamala.
Because that's what I'm about to say.
Not Kamala. No. Not Kamala. I'm
you wanna know
just
what's
saying.
funny? I'm gonna make a crazy prediction. Okay, I'm gonna make a crazy little raw sticky prediction. I see, since he's 77, it either might be an assassination or a mishap in a medical problem, and Kamala gonna be the new president.
The new president. That's what you're thinking?
I'm telling you, she's gonna be the first black female
president. I mean, to be honest with you, I hope she is becomes a president again. You know, I have a daughter.
Favorite.
I have a daughter. I want my daughter to be able to see.
She's definitely gonna be the odds-on favorite, and you know, versus Susan Rice or some of the other ones who were in the running. Mm-hmm. You know, Susan Rice had never run for anything.
I thought Susan Rice would have been a great pick.
Well, she's a great Secretary of State. Mm-hmm. She's a great, her thing is foreign policy.
Foreign, that's what we talking about.
But when it comes to domestic policy, she's not really. Susan Rice, she's not a people person, bruh. I'm gonna give it to you 1,000. Like some of the criticism that Susan Rice was getting was that when she was doing press, for back in 2016, she did not want to do black press. She did not want to do the Tom Joyner Morning Show. She did not want to do Ricky Smiley. She did not want to do Steve Harvey. She wanted to stick to mainstream. Like she, you know what I mean? So when you've never run, and that's the thing about, shout out to Yvette. What's up, lady? I need to wear my purple, wearing our purple for Miss Yvette. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. But, the problem that you have with Trump is when you've never run for something, you don't understand what it means to have a constituency. Mm-hmm. And what a constituency is, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Right.
So when you go to, if you're on a city commission, local city commission, you come to the city commission and you see the same lady that's always there, what have you, you learn to look out.
Yeah.
Trump has never had to learn to look out for anybody because he's never had to care about anybody else. He's never had to care about what impact, what effect is this going to have when this person lose their house or lose their... His thing is he's always had money. Right. He's always had access. He grew up rich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the one thing about having money. You can do almost any and everything.
You inherited $400 million. You inherited $400 million, but you running around here talking about you was born on the side of the river. You know what I mean? Like, poor boy on the side of the river. Like, no, dude. You started off talking about, oh, my dad.
He gave him like a couple million right off rip.
Well, he says, oh, my dad only gave me $1 million to start. Well, I guess what you stole the other $399 million from. Right. But how many people out here would not love for your parent to get you started with a meal?
Or just getting started, period.
To get you started with a meal.
Not even a meal, just to get you started. Some parents can't afford to get, some parents can't afford to get their kids started in a business,
Right.
So that's,
this man was coming out
gifted. I mean, give him money.
With using $400 million, he used $400 million of his dad's money.
Yeah.
And if you look at
on
Netflix,
a lot of it.
if you look on Netflix, that's a great segue. If you look on Netflix, the Donald Trump and American Dream documentary that they have, you'll see that when he first built the Taj Mahal, and he had like a $2 million per month mortgage that he couldn't pay at the time, how his dad had his lawyer to come in and buy $2 million worth of chips and just walked out with the chips. Never cashed in the chips. So that was just a way to give his son the $2 million. That was just a way to give his son the $2 million.
Wow.
Just got the chips and cleared it with the chips. Basically just gave $2 million. To his son.
And it's a tax write-off.
And we already know this man
Pops
wrote off
$1
$1 billion.
That was a write-off.
This man wrote off $1 billion of losses from other people, which was able to carry forward with the IRS, where this guy had to pay, able to take a loss for like 20 years.
Wow.
Going forward. So he don't know anything about the average person's pain.
No.
But he's convinced certain people that he's the everyman. He's convinced certain people, construction workers, folks in West Virginia, working the coal mines and stuff like that. He got these folks in there like he's our guy. Mm-hmm. He's like going against their own interests, going against their best interests, because what he does, he stokes the fear. He stokes the fear
out of people
to say, hey, guess who's gonna move? Guess who's coming to dinner?
Guess who's coming to
dinner?
Coming to your suburbs.
And he's not the thing is, he's not the only one. Why did the dude from, we talked about him the other day, from the Danny Glover, the guy who was with the Danny Glover, Mel Gibson. Mm-hmm. Why did Mel Gibson get in trouble? Mel Gibson got in trouble with his girlfriends. Like, yeah, you're gonna go out there and let some, black guys just come in there and just
get all up in it.
Just get all up in you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not the only one. What did the owner of the LA Clippers say to his girl?
He was talking about Magic.
Magic and Lil Wayne.
Oh, he's talking about Lil Wayne?
He's talking about Magic and Lil Wayne. He's like, why do you make me look so bad? Why do you make me look so bad? You bring these guys to my arena. You bring these guys to my, and it's like, they're my friends. He's just like, this is just killing me. He's not the only one. So he's the guy, that's out there. He's the one that's out there that's speaking what a lot of folks that we see, these Karens and stuff that's out there that we see on the memes, these Karens and these folks out here, and these folks, are in communities, and folks just walking up to them like, hey, what are you doing here? And folks like, what were you talking about? And it's not just, it's everywhere. It happened in Wellington and Palm Beach, where the little black girl is out there playing with her other friends, but they come up to the black girl, and the guy's just like, he stops his car. Mm-hmm. He stops his car. He gets out his car, and he goes to the black girl. And he's like, you aren't supposed to be here. You guys aren't here. And they sitting there videotaping it. And, bro, I'm looking at me. And I'm looking at one of my daughters running into the crib to get me. Mm-hmm. And her dad came out. Okay. Her grandfather, actually, it was the grandfather who owned the house. Okay. And the grandfather came out, and the grandfather was just like, why you shouldn't be speaking to this 13-year-old kid. Why you stopping your car to come in here to find out where she's going? What gives you the right to do that? He's like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? These assumptions. Mm-hmm. And so this guy comes in there and says, hey, I stopped them people from moving to where you live, to the suburbs. Somebody, no affordable housing. No affordable housing coming to the suburbs. No affordable housing coming to the suburbs. What is affordable housing? In the state of Florida, affordable housing is if you have a median income of $49,000. So if you got a median income of $49,000, you know who that is? That's teachers. Yeah. That's police officers. That's correctional. That's what I'm saying. That's folks, but you want to put in the mind of older people that affordable housing is code word for black people. Yeah. That's all this stuff is. It's code word. It's code. Projects, basically. Even when you come out there and you say law and order, when you come out there and say law and order, that's code word to say you want the police to rough them up. Mm-hmm. And he went so far as to say to the police, you guys are being too nice to these guys. Yeah, you need to rough them up. You need to, when you're going to put their head into the car, bang their head up against the thing and do all this other stuff.
He watched too many movies.
And then you got these folks going around saying Black Lives Matter, and you won't say Black Lives Matter because you're thinking like Black Lives Matter, and I fell into that when it first came out after Ferguson. I fell into that whole Black Lives Matter. Why are you saying Black Lives Matter? Why not all lives matter?
Right.
But as you see, it go on more and you start to understand more, it's not saying that all lives don't matter, because it's obvious that all lives matter.
Yeah.
You have to point out specifically that black lives matter because you're like,
they don't care.
They're not getting the same treatment as all the other, as if the lives don't matter.
Right.
So that's why you have to specifically say black lives matter. That ain't nothing that you want to wear as a badge of honor.
No, not at all.
You don't want to have to run around. You don't want to be in my position, you know, coming up into a courtroom. I'm sitting there with my clients, you know, we're in the courtroom or whatever, and I'm just like, I got a Black Lives Matter sign. My client don't want to see that. My client want results.
They want results.
My client wants results. So I don't want to be running around here talking about no Black Lives Matter. I want to just come in there and let my results speak for themselves.
Right.
But you have to come in there when you start hearing things like, you know, a brother, one of the brothers, you know, was just talking the other day. And he was like, he's in there to take a deposition. He's the first one at the deposition. The other attorney comes into the room. First thing he asks him, are you the witness? He's like, no. Instead of just introduce, like, who are you or whatever, it's like, are you the witness? He's like, no. Oh, are you the court reporter? He's like, no. Are you, you know what I'm saying? It was the last thing he asked was, is he the attorney?
Right.
On the case.
Right.
That's the last,
so
it
was the attorney there. So I was in my head, I was thinking that it may have been the defendant.
No.
But that was probably what the cop or whatever had in his head.
First of
but
all,
he asked everything but
first
that.
of all, in criminal cases, the defendant can't even show up to a deposition. But in civil cases, the clients are allowed to attend the depositions. They're allowed to do that. But in criminal cases, they aren't allowed to do it. But the attorney comes in there and calls him everything but who he is. Those assumptions that get made. You know, so that's why it's important. That's why I'm like, can we just get this guy out of there? Can we get this guy out of there? Can we just stop this thing? Can we just pause it? And can we just have a reconciliation? Can we have a reconciliation on the truth? Just have a reconciliation on the truth. Like, people need to know the truth. They need to know, like, damn, how would you feel right now if you just found out that 1 million people just got stolen from New York and disappeared, and you don't know where the 1 million people at? You don't know where the 1 million people at, and the 1 million people, you done took them to Iceland, or you done took them to Antarctica to say, man, y'all got to go up there, man, because of global warming or whatever. It's so hot in these other places, man. We just need to go Antarctica and we just need to rebuild, and we don't got enough people to go, so we just gonna grab y'all asses and take you up here to Antarctica and just work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
just work. Like, people look at you like you crazy.
Yeah.
Like, who would do that? But that's what happened.
It does. They're gonna end up trying to do that in Mars, man. They trying to leave Earth. You see, they trying to make it over to Mars. They trying to make a civilization in Mars. You know what I'm saying? Before the brothers and everybody else could get there. You know what I mean? They want to go ahead, set up everything.
There's a book by Derek Bell. It's called Faces at the Bottom of the Well, and it's crazy. I read this book maybe 25, 30 years ago. Faces at the Bottom of the Well, but it gives like that exact scenario where there's an exodus on the planet and everybody, like, they making plans to go.
Send me the name of that book.
But the Faces at the Bottom of the Well, and the author is Derek Bell, and you know, everybody's like getting ready to go and leave or whatever, and the brothers like left behind. They're like, why they leave the brothers? Why they leave the brothers behind?
Right.
Why they leave the brothers behind, man?
Right.
So you wouldn't be the first, you know, to come up with that one.
Now,
so,
Derek Bell, you said, right?
Yeah, Derek Bell.
Oh, he's a lawyer, American lawyer.
Yeah, and it's called Faces at the Bottom of the Well, man. He's I think he was a Harvard professor at the time.
Well, I was going to bring up about what you sent me earlier about Kamala Harris and the dirty tech, her reaction to the response to
man. So
birthing questions.
Yeah, so the birther, man, which is crazy. Like, you know, this is crazy. You know, the only person that was close to, in our time, in our lifetime, I believe, that was even close to, you know, having legitimate issues about their citizenship was John McCain. The late John McCain.
John McCain had problems about his citizenship?
Because John McCain was born in Guam.
Yeah, but he was born on a base or no?
Yeah, he was born on a base.
He's a U.S. citizen.
Correct. But I'm saying that, you know what I mean? Like, but person that wasn't born on American soil.
But she was born on American soil.
She was born in Oakland, California.
Cali.
She was born in Cali, bruh. She was born in Oakland, California. But what I'm saying is, no one ever even mentioned that thing about John McCain.
No.
Being born in Guam.
No.
You know, but, you know, this lady is born, like.
She is what America is. She, like, her family is. Yeah,
if you take his logic, then he couldn't even be the president because his
father.
His mother. His mother wasn't born in America. His mother wasn't born in America.
We're talking about Donald Trump, right?
Donald Trump's mother wasn't born in America. So, but this guy don't care.
No.
Facts don't mean anything. And then I think the other person was Cruz. Ted Cruz had another issue because
Canada, right?
Because Canada, he was actually born in Canada, but his parents were American citizens at the time, and it was just like up there, like on assignment or whatever it was. And again, like there have been some folks who actually have had at least intellectually honest decisions,
right?
That you can come in there and say. You know, and say, well, you know what, it's fair game to at least mention it and just come in there and do it. But this man come out there and just like, well, you know, some people are saying it's coming from this lawyer, and you know, so listen, trust me, I'm one of them. I am a lawyer. Don't try to
put it
through your. A lawyer is what you do. A lawyer is what you do. It's not who you are. This is what you do. So you can come out there and advocate for whatever it is. You can come out there and be the biggest crook, the biggest pimp, the biggest whatever it is. So that's what you do. That's not who you are. And when you come out there and you make something, if it's not in a legal filing that you putting out there, whatever, then do not hold a lawyer to it. Do not hold a lawyer to it if he or she has not signed their name in a pleading and filed a legal document in court. If I come in there and I write an opinion piece, or I come in there and say that's my opinion,
or a tweet,
that's my opinion. You know, but if it's something that you come in there and say, hey, you filed this in this particular case, then I gotta account to that. Not only do I have to account to the person that's questioning me about it, but I gotta account to the Florida bar,
right?
About what it is that I've affixed my name to,
right?
So, so coming out there talking about,
But everyone that he gets a story from or anything like that, he get a story, he gets any of it from it. I'm off. I'm not having on there. Yeah. But everything that he puts out there is BS, and all the information he gets is false. You know what I'm saying? It's all false.
And it don't even matter.
And it doesn't. It has no real. All it does is have negative ramifications of everything. He does not have anything that has any standing.
But
anything.
Check it out.
Nothing. No facts.
They have
like you said. They quoted
alternative.
They made
facts.
that.
They came up with that. That's like Lil Wayne and Bling Bling. That's their word. That's their phrase. Alternative facts. Okay, well you say it this way. Well, other people say it that way.
Right.
Like when 10 out of 10 scholars was saying that if you are born in the United States, you are an American citizen.
Well, I'm sorry. Scholars should not have to say that. That is true common sense.
This guy comes out there and said, well, I know some people who says some other respected people. Like he just come and create a false controversy and just be like, well, I got some people that's saying different, and that's how you get to him. How do we have our attorney general right now? The way we have Bill Barr as our attorney general.
But that's the whole thing.
This man wrote a 19-page, basically, application. Basically, like, if I was your girlfriend. Can we play that song? Do we have that? If I was your girlfriend. Because that's what he basically did. If I was your girlfriend, this is what I do. And he looking at Jeff Sessions. So, Trump hearing the song, they was like, man, let me play something for you. And he's just like, if I was your girlfriend. And he looking over at Jeff Sessions over there in the corner, because he got Jeff Sessions sitting in the corner. He's just
got
like,
rid of him.
he's just like,
Which
man.
one, Prince or MJ?
Prince. He over there looking at Jeff Sessions like, man, dude. He's like, dude, you know the only reason why I even brought you here, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because you was the first one in the Senate to come out and support me. And I put you down and I hired you. And now when I need you, you know what I'm saying? You gonna recuse yourself from Russia? That's what you gonna do. You gonna recuse yourself from the Russian probe, dog. That's how it is. If I had known that, I would never have hired you, man. And Jeff Sessions just over there like, oh, Mr. President, I'm so sorry that you feel that way. But I just can't, in all honesty and ethics, you know, I had to recuse myself because I was asked in my confirmation hearings. You know, Jeff Sessions, I never liked him, but he's a man of honor. I never liked him because this dude was like, hey, I don't care that Eric Holder basically said that when it comes to, you know, marijuana, I'm not going to prosecute, you know, these states, Colorado and California, Washington, Oregon, that have, you know, these laws, and I'm going to allow, and I'm not going to send out agents. We're not going to prosecute anybody on these marijuana cases. I'm gonna leave it to the states. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Right.
But then when Jeff Sessions comes in, Jeff Sessions is like, nah, I don't believe in marijuana, and we're not gonna go, you know. So I never was a Jeff Sessions fan. But you gotta respect his ethics.
Yeah, you do.
You gotta respect his ethics.
And you. I give it to Nancy Pelosi. She said it very well. Is that a lot of these Republican senators have to go ahead and, you know, their grandparents are going to ask. I mean, their grandkids are going to ask them in the future, "What did you do? You know, during these times of Trump?" Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
they're on the wrong side of history.
The wrong side of history.
You're gonna be on the wrong side of history, and it's crazy that when you start looking at life and what it is, and you know, and I've had to go through these things myself. There's a story in the paper about how transgenders were getting treated at TGK, you know, the Turner Guilford Knight jail, where they was out protesting for black transgender people, and they got arrested, and they thought they was doing, like, you know, they stand-up deed. But when they got to the jail, you know, the correctional guys didn't know how to handle them. They didn't know how to handle them, and they wasn't really familiar, or as familiar as they needed to be, with the procedure of how you're supposed to do it. And it was two of them, and one of them had their ID, all their legal state-issued documents where they had changed, you know, that they were women, but they hadn't had the surgery. So
they're still men.
So, well, according to the correctional officers, they was like, well, you still men, but their policy, they were supposed to be segregated, and they got a whole protocol that they're supposed to do, and it's not common sense, because common sense would make you think like that. Well, if you got, you know, beans and franks, if you got beans and franks, if you got beans and franks, then we're gonna put you where the beans and franks are. We're not gonna lock you up with these women over here if you can come in there and you can still get somebody pregnant.
That's the whole thing. I mean, don't you think that's I mean, I understand people are saying they identify with or anything, but what happened if they change their mind and they're in jail and they decide to do something?
It happens all the time.
Right, and then now you got a female pregnant, but you were a transgender. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. You know, guys, you can do whatever you want to do with your body. That's on you.
So the whole point with what I'm trying to say is, when you start talking about grandkids, when you start talking about being on the wrong side of history, is rethinking and re-understanding. You know, if you're a libertarian is like, as long as it's not affecting or impacting you, you live and let live. You know, but you know, when they had that controversy about self-identifying, like, how do you identify? And going into the schools, and you can use whatever restroom you want to use, based on how you identify. And folks
But
is
that's
like, well, if you a
unfortunate.
pedophile
Yeah,
or if you or whatever,
don't
and you
know.
just say, hey, I'm a lesbian in a man's body.
And it can't be said.
Or whatever,
It
the
can't be
case
said.
may be.
But the problem there you run into is children possibly going inside of a bathroom with a man or a woman. I mean, whatever it may be. Your son going in the bathroom with a woman. Your daughter going inside of the bathroom with a man.
I'm gonna keep
that's truly a
I'm gonna keep it blood raw with you, bro. That's why it's such a big push for this, because they're pushing towards that. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest with you. What else is next other than trying to sleep with kids?
Dogs and animals.
And they already got that.
And
That's
other
what
stuff
they're
like
saying.
where they're gonna legalize it.
Yeah.
Folks gonna try to marry their dog.
Yeah.
Marry they.
Animals.
Where does the
that.
buck stop? That's the question. You feel me? So,
I think the buck based on
Too much freedom.
too much freedom.
based on this
Too much.
based on this Democratic platform that we're gonna try to ride for the next 4 years, and then I'm gonna go back to my Republican enclave. Hopefully, but
What happened
for
if
the
things?
next
What happened
4
if things
years.
kind of change out for you, and Democrats kind of do? Well, only problem you may have is they're gonna raise taxes.
Because
They're gonna raise taxes.
they-
That's gonna be an issue.
they always want to raise taxes.
Yeah.
Folks that's out there, busting their behinds to make it for themselves and their families and their children and whatnot. Democrat never seen the tax they didn't like.
Right.
They didn't want.
Right.
The redistribution of wealth and all that. But I am down for reparations.
I'm down for it too.
I'm definitely down for reparations.
Is it
but
guaranteed?
I'm down for
I'm not
reparations.
down for the redistribution of wealth from taking it from me and just give it to somebody else like that. I'm down for, building institutions through reparations and other things like that. But just, the checks or what have you, I'm open. Right now I'm open. I'm open to the trans. I'm open in the sense that I don't want to be on the wrong side of history. I know what my personal beliefs are, and I know what you're allowed to teach your children. You're allowed to teach your children to love and respect everybody, but you can say, but this is how we do it.
Right.
This is how we do it. This has worked for us for this number of years, but if you come in and this is what you own, what I'm saying? Like Sade, one of my favorite artists of all time. I'm reading up on Sade. Sade, her daughter is now a man.
Really?
Sade's daughter is now a man. Sonny and Cher. Cher. People know Cher. Their daughter is now a man.
Really?
Like, living as a man. Look at Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner, when I was growing up, Bruce Jenner was on a box of Wheaties, dog. 1976. He was the greatest athlete out there.
He was an American staple.
And he identifies, you know what I'm saying? And my thing is, live and let live. I haven't been personally impacted or affected by them. And for somebody feeling like this is how I feel that way, I was born that way, this is what I want to do. I'm more so like, get the surgery.
Right.
Like
go all the way through with it.
Get the surgery, take it all the way through or whatever. But when you come to jail, you come to prison, and you come in there and you got beans and franks between your legs, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can put a special wing for you, isolate you, or what have you, but I don't think we can put you, just the same thing with the Olympics. Look about what they're doing with the Olympics. You got the lady, the hermaphrodite, where folks was thinking that she was trans, but she really was born that way, but was killing the people because, you know what I mean? Like, she like a straight up dude.
Let me tell you something.
Like, sprinting, dog. Like, sprinting. Can't no woman beat a man when it comes to track.
So let me inject, right? And this is a sidebar disclaimer from everything. This is just my personal view on this stuff. So I really want America to sit down and understand, especially a lot of black women, because it seems like a lot of black women support a lot of this stuff that's going on right now. You feel me? It went from Black Lives Matter to Black Trans Lives Matters. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And I feel like black women are letting themselves being distracted by a whole bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with what the main focus is. It's us, man and woman. You understand what I'm saying? And children. Right. You know what I'm saying? All this extra stuff is extracurricular activity. You feel me? Now, let's be real. They say Black Trans Lives Matters, right? Mm-hmm. Boom. They're saying transsexual, black transsexual men are getting killed at a tremendous rate.
Right.
By who?
I think a lot of times it's trans or white men or it's tricks though. It is tricks doing it.
Okay, and who are these Johns and Tricks? DL.
Probably straight up
men.
down low dudes.
And what that puts them in the classification of?
Homosexual.
Which is?
Gay. LGBT.
So you're getting killed by your own people. And
I didn't think of it that way.
This is the thing. You're sitting there putting up all this stuff, but you need to go to the real core of what your problem is.
To the source.
It has nothing to do with nobody else but your own people. You need to teach your own people to accept who they are. Yeah. Instead of making the world and forcing the world to accept what you guys are. And the thing about it is they're trying to, I feel like it's becoming too sexual towards children.
Yeah.
They're normalizing Disney sex. You don't need to put sex in cartoons. You don't need to put sex in children's books. I don't need to see a transsexual reading stories to my child in no transsexual get-up. You understand what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff going on in America.
It makes you have that conversation early. Mm-hmm. It makes you have that conversation early.
No, listen, that's why I said disclaimer. You hear me? I don't have nothing. You can do what you want.
No. I'm saying it makes you have that conversation early with your kids. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because we're watching a cartoon and you see, a boy kissing a boy in a cartoon or a girl kissing a girl in a cartoon.
What?
And you have to go ahead. I think Frozen 2, if I'm not mistaken, is supposed to have their first. And then Beauty and the Beast had a.
Come on, man. Like, why are we doing that? Like, this is my thing. That has nothing. Let me tell you something. Like the great Angela Stanton said, man. I'm gonna call her great because what she said when she started to the Breakfast Club was golden. She shut down the whole show with what they were talking about. Mm-hmm. And straight up, what does you having to be homosexual have to do with kids? Not a thing. Homosexuality is a sexual act. Period.
With men. I mean, men and women. Adults as well.
Right. What does that have to do with your with the next person accepting or children have to learn? It has nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? You're sitting there trying to fight for gay rights. You're fighting for the rights to be on some sexual stuff. It has nothing to do with anything else other than that. It's sexual behavior. Why are we showing it to kids?
Well,
why are we expressing that and exposing that to children?
I could go into that, but we out of town today. Appreciate you standing in for Teddy T. How we getting up out of here, DJ?
Man, I got you, man. You already know what it is, man. We about to get into, like I said, disclaimer, but you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to LGBT. I'm just saying it's a lot of things we have to be considerate about. And even themselves say it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's unnecessary. You don't need to share it to children. This is all grown behavior. Keep it grown. Separate stuff. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to influence the world just to accept you. You're already here.
Right.
So be here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody needs no special attributes or none of that. You know what I'm saying? We're all people. We all have to respect each other. I don't have a problem with a gay man working with a gay man.
No, me neither. I don't have a problem. I mean, I do it. We do it. Well, I do all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So why is it so extra? Is my question.
Because
you don't see police killing. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. They kill black men. Mm-hmm. You understand? They killing black women. It's a degree of things going on that need to be focused on. Everything else is just additions. You know what I'm saying? And we need to stop.
Well, that's the demo, and that's the I'm getting out of here with the music that you want to play. But to me that's the Democratic. To me, that's the Democratic Party, and that's what they mean when they say they're a big tent. When they mean that they're a big tent, that everybody's allowed to come in that tent and say, hey, you know what? I know y'all just handled all this stuff with the Black Lives Matter, but look what's going on over here. And then they start showing examples of discrimination and stuff going on. And then the folks got to say, oh, man, that's a tough one. Like, do we take this on now, or do we just say go somewhere else or do this or whatever? And that's the thing about being in America. When we always talk about the experiment of America, if you take it to its logical conclusion, you're liable to see damn near anything. If you can think about it,
It'll be existing.
it can be in existence and it can happen, and then you can use the same constitution that blacks have used to get rights, that gays have used to get rights, that women have used to get rights when you look at Title IX and these other things, that any group that's able to, felons, coming to get rights, Amendment 4, y'all go vote today if you haven't voted, voted, and, we're going to be doing a huge push every show to talk about our returning citizens, that the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition, if you are a felon, you are now eligible to vote unless you had a murder or a rape, and they have money to pay for your fees and costs. So you got no excuse to say, man, I still owe paper, I'm gonna pay, I owe court costs. They got money. All you got to do is call them. They'll look you up, see that you're eligible, and they just wrote a check for $2 million to the clerk's office the other day. Wow. So, brothers, sisters that's out there.
To get your stuff expunged?
No. To be able to vote.
To be able to vote. Even with a felon. Florida, until 2018, if you were a felon,
you couldn't vote.
You could not vote.
Right.
Now you can vote even as a convicted felon. You don't need to get it sealed. You don't need to get it expunged. It just can't be murder. It just can't be rape. Okay. You can vote, and if you owe fees and costs, which 800,000 people still do. Yeah. The Florida Rights Restoration Coalition are paying the costs and fees, the court costs, bro.
I had a homie that was still on probation because he ain't had the money for the fees. So he had like $900. He still owed fees. He's still on probation right now. But he been on probation for 3 years because he ain't had $900.
He need to call Florida Rights Restoration and call them. They'll pay them $900 and he can go and register to vote. So it's going to be a lot of that. We're going to start talking more about.
But that doesn't have nothing to do with your. That doesn't have nothing to do with your voting rights.
We're going to start talking more about that. After these primaries, because the last day to register is October 5th for the November election.
It's October 5th.
So we're going to have a couple months, to make sure that everybody's doing their part. If you don't vote, you don't count. And I'm out.
Straight up, man. You already know, man. Ask Mathis, man. Let's go, man. You already know what it is, man. It's the boy DJ Ross Sticky, man. We live right now. You know how we doing it. Straight like that. We here. It's Trap House. Turn the camera for you.
If I was your best friend, would you let me take care of you and do all the things that only a best friend can? Oh, only best friends can. Help me pick out your clothes before we go out. Not that you're helpless, but sometimes those are the things that being in love's about. If I was your one and only friend, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if that somebody was me? Hey. Sometimes I trip on how happy we could. If I was your girl. time? Well, then could we just hang out? I mean, could we go to a movie and cry together? 'Cause to me, baby, that would be so fine. Baby, can I dress you? I mean, help you pick out your clothes before we go out. Listen, girl, I ain't saying you're helpless, but sometimes, those are the things that baby loves about. Sugar, do you know what I'm saying to you this evening? Maybe you think I'm being a little self-centered, but I say I wanna be all of the things you are to me. Surely you can see. Is it really necessary for me to go out of the room just because you want to undress? We don't have to make children to make love. And we don't have to make love to have an orgasm.
If I was your girlfriend.
Yo, Shaggy. Yo, Cuz. Family. Yeah, unrollers. I me say family. Sure. If I want thing, me hate a fern killer. Me no believe in a fern killer. Family. I me say family. Sure. Me love me family, them do me heart. Me would do the hate one of them. Real kill it dead to the end, dead from me start. Me real better them. Cause them no know when we a buy 3 sardines and the 1 pound of rice from shop. And them no know when we a get chased by cops and the mac and the handgun job. And all the woman make it now. Me know how struggle feel. And me know all of the pussy them. And me know who fucking real. Now make them trick me and kill me. No way, you must see blood clamor. Life are the greatest thing that me no left go, now me no left my God. Can't trick me and kill me. No way, you must see blood clamor. Life are the greatest thing that me no left go, now me no left my God. And me energy them want thief. When me see it clear, say them a mongoose. Them know say that youth and a friend. They me no play like rhythm and blues. Man loyal, too loyal. Someone with his think off like poor trial. Informer want judge of me pan trial. Them days that me don't just no boy nor girl. Me no know if heaven is real, but me know for a fact I know every man real. Some boy I don't think not clean. Them no want see a next youth living in. They live evil and demon. Them can't stop me in Nigeria Island. Anytime me a drive on my van, big fat matic in a me right hand. Now make them trick me and kill me. No way, you must see blood clamor. Life are the greatest thing that me no left go, now me no left my God. Can't trick me and kill me. No way, you must see blood clamor. Life are the greatest thing that me no left go, now me no left my God. Me realize to not one. Oh, it don't have a one. Them say them real, but me know them not real. Me realize don't have a one. Yeah, don't have a one. Oh, it don't have a one. Them say them real, and me life them a steal. Don't have a one. Now make them trick me and kill me. No way, you must see blood clamor. Life are the greatest thing that me no left go, now me no left my God. Can't trick me and kill me. No way, you must see blood clamor. Life are the greatest thing that me no left go, now me no left my God. Me and kill me. No way, you must see blood clamor. No way, you must see blood clamor. Family. I me say family. Family. I me say family.
Oh, you do? How you play this shit? How you do it? Yo, we back live on Trap House on Strong Arm. You feel what I'm saying? Send your music in. Trap House Sundays.music@gmail.com.
Again, trapousesundays.music@gmail.com.
Drop that pussy, bitch. What you twerking with?
Some young pop, champagne, they know the face and they know the name.
Drop that pussy, bitch. What you twerking with? Work, 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 bounce, work, work, work. What you twerking with? Work, 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 bounce, work, work, work. What you twerking with? What you twerking with? What you twerking with? What you twerking with? Work, 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 work. What you twerk with? Go and bust it open. Show me what you twerk with. Ass so good. Need a lap dance. I'm in that white ghost chasing Pac-Man. 100 out the lot. I be leading. That's a rock. 100 large. Bring a mop. Car send it like a rock. Got a brain struck in my pocket. 30 chains on my collar. 2 drops, no mileage. Top off like Wallace, and I'm a hell smoke, bitch, know that. Filthy rich before that. You new deal, I throw that. 3 beans, I'm on that. We pop a molly, she bust it up. She see the Gotti, that pussy sucks. What you twerking with? Shout out to the Infernos, Strawberries. Luke, what it do? Let's go. I love my big booty bitches. My life a Godfather picture. Local club in my city. I fell in love with a stripper. Bitches know I'm that nigga. Talking photo Bugatti. I'm the life of the party. Let's get these hoes on the molly. You know I came to stunt. So drop that pussy, bitch. I got what you want. Drop that pussy, bitch. Film it, film it. This bitch want me to film it. Ballin', ballin', like I play for New England. Spin it, spin it, spin a stack every minute. That's 50, 100. I see no fucking limits. Shout out to Uncle Luke. Shout out my bitches too. We the 2 Life crew. 2 for me, 2 for you. Feed them bitches carrots. Fuck them like a rabbit. Sorry, that's a habit. Smoke a split it, then I vanish. What you twerking with?
Don't stop. Being single, seeing double, making triple. I hope you pussy niggas ain't never make a nickel. It's good to make it better when your people make it with your money coming, money going. Ain't like you could take it with you. There's somebody being here right now. Fuck back then with the shit right now. Drop, take care, bought a motherfucking crib, and I'm picking up the keys to the bitch right now. OVO, that's major shit. Toronto with me, that's mayor shit. Getting cheddar packs like KD. OKC, that's player shit. We don't dress alike, we don't rap alike. I shine different, I rhyme different. Only thing you got is some years on me, man. Fuck you and your time difference. I'm young poppy, champagne. They know the face and they know the name. Got one